Welcome back to Seasons, a devotional that's based on my book by the same name. And today we're going to talk about that dreaded question. So, what do you do? In my parents' time, or maybe my grandparents' time, it was more common for strangers to exchange the formal greeting of "How do you do" when they were introduced one to another. Although that salutation may be used elsewhere in the English-speaking world, it's definitely not used in North America anymore. The next question commonly asked is, so what do you do? A guest speaker or author or pastor is introduced to their audience by a brief description of what the speaker does and a short synopsis of their personal life. Please welcome John, the father of 3, who has been married to his lovely wife, June, for 13 years. John is a respected business owner. Please welcome Jane. Jane studied at Harvard and is an avid gardener. Her most recent PhD makes her a welcome addition to our panel today. Please welcome Catherine. We aren't quite sure what she does, but perhaps you might be able to glean something from what she's about to share. Isn't she precious? I have not held a traditional job for over 30 years. I can't list my professional accomplishments, and I don't have any degrees behind my name. I'm not married, and I can't extol the virtues of my non-existent husband. I have no children, so I don't carry family photos on my smartphone. Although I do consider my internet work to be a full-time ministry, I have no staff to boast of, and it's difficult for me to assess my impact. Unlike an evangelist at a crusade, it is impossible for me to estimate the lives that I have reached for the kingdom. I don't know how many prayers have been answered through my ministry. Somehow I feel what I have to offer the world is pretty insignificant in comparison to the Bible scholars, speakers, and writers who have touched my life. However, the Lord challenges me to walk past my insecurities and my feelings of inadequacy. He can multiply my small offering of a few loaves and a couple of fish to feed those who are hungry for His word. A mighty giant was toppled by an obscure shepherd who honed his skill as an expert marksman while working in a hidden sheep pasture. God used one small stone, and God uses me. 1 Corinthians 1 verse 27 to 29 fits me to a T. God chose what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. God chose what is weak in the world to shame the strong. God chose what is low and despised in the world, even things that are not, to bring to nothing things that are, so that no human being might boast in the presence of God. I find it a little bit ironic that this particular chapter in the book popped up today. You see, just recently, I accidentally deleted everybody on my email mailing list. I'm not talking thousands of people on that mailing list, but I hit the wrong button, I wasn't paying attention, and bye-bye they went, and I have no way to recover them. So my little sphere of influence shrank dramatically by one little itty mistake on my part. And there's absolutely no way I can recover those email addresses. Hopefully people will realize they're not getting anything from me and they'll go look for me. I can only hope. I cannot allow what I perceive to be the smallness of my influence to deter me from being obedient to what God has called me to do. There were a few times in the Bible where people tried to out-talk doing something for God by using I'm ill-equipped, God. God, I'm the youngest of the very youngest of the very youngest. Lord, my tribe in the Israel nation is the smallest. Lord, I can't speak well. Lord, I can't. Lord, I'm not. But if you look at God's response, not once did he say to anybody, oh, gee, you're right, I made a mistake. I guess I better go call somebody more qualified. I am going to throw out a challenge to you, as I'm throwing out the same challenge to myself. Be obedient in doing what God has called you to do. Pray for his increase so you can bless and minister to others, and walk in obedience to the word of the Lord, and don't pay attention to the voices in your head that say you're not enough for the job. God wouldn't have called you if he didn't believe he had all the grace necessary for you to carry out his work.